What's up, guys? Jordan McAbee here, fantasyracingonline.com, and we're going to talk about Darlington today. Southern 500, first playoff race of 2021. Anytime we have a race after a super speedway, typically, DFS-wise, they're always, I don't want to say difficult, but there's a lot of avenues you can go. There's a lot of ways you can go with building lineups because starting positions aren't normal. Not close to what we're used to. But so we got Darlington this weekend. We've raced here once this season. Martin Truex Jr. kicked the shit out of everybody in the first race this year. He led 250 of the 248 of the 293 laps. He started fourth, won stage one, won stage two, won the race. Larson finished second. He didn't have the best car that day until the end. He probably had the best car late. If he definitely had the second best car. I thought he was a little bit better than Truex was at the end. Just didn't have enough time to pass him. But Larson, a lot of people expected him to really do well in that first race, and he kind of disappointed. He didn't lead any laps. Yes, he finished second, but did not get a dominating performance out of Larson like we've kind of come to expect. So let's take a look at the starting lineup quick before we get into everything. Actually, let's talk about Darlington for a second. So Darlington's a high wear racetrack. It's 1.366 miles in length, I think. So it doesn't compare extremely well to like the mile and a halves because a lot of the mile and a halves are low tire wear. You can throw in, so basically, and it also doesn't compare extremely well to the mile and a half this year because we're running the 750 horsepower package this week at Darlington as opposed to the 550 horsepower package. And another part of that is 750 horsepower package. We ran it this year. We haven't ran it since 2018 at Darlington. So 2019, there was one race here. 2020, there was 3 races here. Are they relevant? Yes, they have some relevancy. Are they super relevant, though, because they're in the 550 horsepower package? You can definitely discount them. So we're looking at two of the main things I'm looking at this week are other high wear racetracks as well as races in the 750 horsepower package. So race at Homestead this year, high wear track. The 2 races at Atlanta, high wear track. And then the first race at Darlington. Now, Homestead was way back in February or March. I think it was February. Atlanta, there was the one recently with that Kurt Busch dominated. That was in July. A little bit hotter than what we're dealing with now in August. And then Darlington was in May, so before kind of at the start of the summer heat. So not like super relevant stuff there. And then when we look at the 750 horsepower package, the races that you definitely don't want to include road course races when looking at 750 horsepower. But the races so far in the 750 package, Phoenix, Martinsville, Darlington, Dover, Richmond, Nashville, and Loudon. A lot of shorter tracks. That's typically where we run this 750 package. So definitely there's a lot of data that you can throw in here. I'm focusing mainly on the 750 horsepower package and high wear racetracks. I'm also looking at previous Darlington data, throwing in a little bit of intermediate data overall. And yeah, so as I said, Darlington is a very abrasive racetrack. It's high tire wear. These cars are going to fall off a ton over a run. Something to consider this weekend is Darlington repaved turn 2. Apparently they're having issues. They've been having issues with weepers in that turn, and it got worse 2 weeks ago, and they decided to repave it. I'm recording this on Friday, nobody really knows what to expect. We're going to get a good idea of what to expect with the Xfinity race on Saturday, but right now, going into the race, nobody really knows what to expect. There's been speculation, it could increase speeds, increase the chances of getting into the wall. Kyle Busch thinks it's going to turn it into a one-groove racetrack even more, so it's going to be harder to pass. I could definitely see that happening. Track position becomes even more important. And speaking of that, so there's going to be, I need to double check this number, but I think the competition caution is on lap 25 this week. So the reason that's important is because Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin are on the pole. Kurt Busch starting third, Chase Elliott starting fourth. Ryan Blaney isn't great at Darlington. Denny Hamlin has won 3 times here before. Looking at this from a dominator perspective, I wouldn't say Hamlin is a threat to absolutely Truex this race. Could he dominate it? Yes. Is he going to Truex it? No. Kurt Busch, you probably won't see him up there dominating. Chase Elliott, there's a chance. I spelled Chase Elliott wrong. I need to fix that. And then Bowman, whenever Bowman shows up. But so I actually think the repave in turn 2 is going to help Kyle Larson a little bit he's been good at high wear racetracks this year, but I think the extra grip will help him even more. Plus his pit crew has been stout this year. So I think that competition caution is going to help Kyle Larson, help him get better track position and then be able to get to the lead quicker if he's going to be the one dominator this week or one of the dominators. We'll probably see 2. This is a pretty long race, 500 miles. But so the competition caution, pulling up Bob Pockrass's Twitter right now. Competition caution, lap 25. You can go 69 to 73 laps on fuel. Honestly, I'd be surprised to see any teams really try to stretch that. We saw Ross Chastain do that in the first race here this year. Did not work out for him at all. He had a really good car, and that kind of just screwed his day. But going back to starting lineup, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin on the front row, place differential drivers. Kyle Larson starting 6th. Harvick starting 9th, Truex starting 10th, Kyle Busch 12th, even Logano there in 11th. Christopher Bell 13th, William Byron 14th, Brad Keselowski 16th. Going even further back, Austin Dillon is really strong at this track. He starts 21st this week. Got Chase Briscoe starting 24th, Stenhouse starting 29th, DiBenedetto 30th, Cole Custer 31st, and then the big chalk play this week of Chris Buescher starting 34th since he got disqualified at Daytona last week. There is quite a bit of place differential plays this week, as I said, and we'll talk about those a little bit further when we get into actually building lineups. So let's take a look at the stats from the first Darlington race. Average running position, like I said, Truex just kicked the shit out of everybody. Truex average running position of 1.4. 1.5. Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, William Byron, Tyler Reddick. Joey Logano had a speeding penalty. That's why he finished 13th. Tyler Reddick was very strong all day and just kind of faded as the race went on. He might have had a penalty or something happen, but I specifically remember him just kind of getting worse as the day went on. Another thing to consider this week, this race is going to start at dusk and end at night, so these teams are going to have to keep up with the track. Kyle Larson, like I said, was not great in that race. He finished second, but average running position is 7.3, a little bit worse than we expected. Same with Kyle Busch. He finished third, but had the 7th best average running position. Christopher Bell was up there. He finished 14th. He was running inside the top 5 late in the race. Hit the wall, had to pit. So just something to note there. I'm sure if you've read any of my stuff this week, you know how I feel about Christopher Bell this week. And how heavy I'm going to be on him overall. Looking at green flag speed from that race, Eric Almirola, I forget what happened, but anybody that wrecks out early or has an issue early is going to be inflated on green flag speed. So ignore that. Truex had the best green flag speed, almost a full mile an hour faster than Kyle Larson when it came to the green flag speed. Hamlin, Byron, Logano, same guys. This isn't a race where slower cars somehow find their way to the front. The only way that people move up ahead of faster cars than them is if they have an issue, if they have a tire go down, if they hit the wall like Christopher Bell did. That's about when you see, like guys like Chris Buescher finishing 9th, Ryan Newman finishing 10th. Did they have top 10 cars? Probably not. But they finished there because of some issues late, and they were in good position late, and they probably were good on the long run and able to hold their or maintain their tires, which is, like I said, super important. With this race at Darlington. Looking at another thing to look at Darlington specifically, and any high wear track really, is fastest late in a run, because that's the drivers that you like, because they know how to maintain and take care of their tires. This track eats up tires like no other. So Truex, again, almost a full mile an hour faster than Larson. Hamlin, Christopher Bell right there in fourth. Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney was sixth. Definitely a surprise there. Byron, Buescher, Harvick, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, 11th. So something to note there. Bubba Wallace did finish 3 laps down in that race. Going to the algorithm predicted finishing order, it's got Larson up top. That's pretty much the consensus. You look at sports books, and we'll get to that in a second. Larson is the consensus favorite this weekend. Truex, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, top 5. Kyle Busch, 6th. I definitely put Kyle Busch in the top 5. I wrote about this in the article. I'd probably switch. I'd probably put Hamlin 3rd, Kyle Busch 4th, Elliott 5th, and Harvick 6th. Maybe even Byron 6th. Probably Byron 6th, and then Harvick 7th. If I was doing it myself, but this thing's just running off of numbers, so that's how it's got it. It's got Byron 7th, Bowman 8th, Logano 9th, Ryan Blaney 10th, Tyler Reddick 11th, and yeah. One thing to note, Christopher Bell, 0 top 10s at Darlington, but definitely has upside this week. Was running top 5 here, like I said, in their last race, and just didn't bring it home. Let's take a look at 750 horsepower, the 750 horsepower package this year. Kyle Larson, the best average finish at 6.0. Joey Logano, 6.1. Byron, 7.3. Hamlin, 7.4. Chase Elliott, 8.6. We also got Harvick, Truex, and Bell all under 10.0 with that average finish. Looking at average running position, Denny Hamlin the best, 4.9. Ryan Blaney at 7.8. He's been very strong in the 750 package. Harvick at 8.0, Logano at 8.0, Byron 8.5, Larson 8.5, Chase Elliott 8.8, Martin Truex Jr. 9.1. We know who is strong in this package. We're not going to be surprised by anyone. Taking a look at fastest laps, it's Larson, Hamlin, Truex. That's how it is. Big part of that comes from New Hampshire. So take a look at New Hampshire and fastest laps. Denny Hamlin and Martinsville. So Denny Hamlin had 89 fastest laps at Richmond, 81 fastest laps at Martinsville. That's 170 of his 255 for the year in this package. Martin Truex Jr. has been a little bit more consistent. He had 52 at Phoenix, 41 at Martinsville, 62 at Darlington, 74 at Richmond, and then 8 or lower at Dover, Nashville, and Loudon. So remember, Loudon is the race that he wrecked out early, and Nashville, Larson just completely dominated everybody. And then looking at Larson, he had 45 fastest laps at Phoenix, 21 at Martinsville, 11 in the first Darlington race, 122 at Dover, 133 at Nashville. So those are the 3 strongest guys. Bowman, let's take a look at the 61 at Dover. That's the race that he won. That's a big chunk of his fastest laps in this package. And then Chase Elliott, he had 59 at Dover. So if you're weighing Dover heavily into this week's, data, that Bowman and Elliott are definitely going to stand out for you. And really Hendrick as a whole. William Byron, I believe, had 26 fastest laps at Dover. So definitely going to have an effect if you're weighing Dover much at all this week. Looking at the high wear tracks this year, Martin Truex Jr., the best average finish, 4.0. Kyle Busch, 5.0. Kyle Larson, 6.5. Harvick, Byron, Hamlin, Bowman, all sub 10.0 average finish. A lot of the same names, guys. Average running position, number 1, Kyle Larson, 5.4. Martin Truex Jr., William Byron, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, all under 8. Got Bowman at 8.4, Blaney at 9.3. Looking at fastest laps, it's been quite interesting at high wear tracks this year. I will note when it comes to fastest laps. We've seen basically, so Homestead was a little bit different. We had Buescher who had 39. We had Keslowski had 28. Kurt Busch had 31. Truex had 28. Larson had 18. And Byron had 33. It was spread out quite a bit. We go to the first Darlington race. Martin Truex Jr. had 62. Keselowski had 28. Larson had 11. Kyle Busch had 17. Going to the first Atlanta race, Kyle Larson had 104. Next best was Blaney with 28, who ended up winning that race. Going to the second Atlanta race, Kurt Busch had 62. Kyle Busch had 40. Truex had 20. So we're basically just seeing a lot of time. Homestead, we saw them spread out. We're not seeing what I'm trying to get out here is we're not seeing a complete and defined pattern here. Look at the four races on high wear tracks this year, and you look at Kyle Larson's fastest laps: 18 at Homestead, 11 at Darlington, 104 at Atlanta, and 7 at Atlanta 2. That's one good one and a dud. You look at Martin Truex Jr., same tracks: 28 at Homestead, 62 at Darlington, 5 at Atlanta, and 20 at Atlanta 2. A little bit more consistent, but not consistent by any means. Look at Kyle Busch: 40 in the second Atlanta race. He had 15 in the first Atlanta race, 17 in the first Darlington race, and 0 at Homestead. I will note, there's no clear defined path this year with high wear tracks on, one driver consistently putting up a ton of fastest laps on them. It's just noteworthy. But if you had to pick anyone as most consistent, it'd have to be Martin Truex Jr. and then, of course, Kyle Larson. Both have the most upside this week. Let's go. Let's go ahead and get right down. Let's get to the breakdown. Might as well, right? So Kyle Larson, what can you say? He starts 6th. He's likely to dominate here on Sunday night. It's finally the playoffs. This is the best team all year. Now the races count. The winning counts. He dominated the race here in 2018. So, like I said, that's the last time they ran this package. 2017, he led 124 laps. Yes, it's a little bit concerning that Larson did not have the dominating run earlier this year in the first Darlington race. But at the same time, they are maybe they were just testing some things, and you have to like the fact that that Larson was able to get there and have a race-winning car at the end. Definitely noteworthy, and yeah. So I think my projections say put Larson and Truex together. Those are the two most likely dominators. They have some place differential upside starting 6th and 10th. That's the way to go this weekend. I could absolutely see doing that. I could also see only going with one and try to do it more of a 2 or 3 or 4 dominator build even this weekend. I think you're definitely going to have to build a 2 dominator lineup. I don't see Truex going out there or Larson going out there and leading 300 laps on Sunday night. I just don't see that happening. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? I wouldn't say so. So Larson, definitely a great play. He's going to be recommended by everybody. The contrarian in me would want to go a little bit underweight on him. Maybe in a single entry, not go with Larson, but definitely a very strong play. Kyle Busch is interesting because, by the way, Larson 3rd or better in 4 of his last 5 starts here. The guy's just a stud. The race matters now. Just don't overthink it. He's a great pick. It's whatever. Kyle Busch, I like him to finish top 5. I think he can finish top 3. I question his dominator potential this week. Look at these recent races. 9 laps led earlier this year. That's not going to do it. He had a very good race here in 2019. Led 118 laps, finished 3rd. Again, that's 550 package, not 750. Go back to 2018, 2017, 2016. With that 750 package, did not see great runs out of Kyle Busch. The most over those 4 races, the highest number of fastest laps that Kyle Busch had is 23. That's just not, even with, the thing is with Kyle Busch being priced at 11,200, starting 12th, even if he finishes 3rd, he's going to need Dominator points. You'd have to assume he'd need Dominator points in your lineup to outscore Larson and or Truex. So I don't like the Dominator upside for Kyle Busch. I think he can be top 5. I think he can be top 3. You take a look at not only, so the high wear tracks this year, or the 750 what worries me most is 750 package. Kyle Busch is not good in this package. Average running position of 14.3 in this package this year. Average finish is 17.3. Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch have the exact same. Kyle Busch, 7 races, 64 fastest laps in this package. I don't like the upside. Could I see playing him? Yes. Will I have some exposure? Yes. It's still Kyle Busch. He can still go out here and win this race. But with Larson and Truex up there and even Byron, I'd rather go another route than Kyle Busch. Martin Truex Jr., he starts 10th. He's 11,000. I think he's a dynamite play. It's just going to be whether, if Larson gets out front early, can Truex get around him? That's going to be a thing with Truex. He starts 4 spots further back. But you look at last 2 races, he's won all 4 stages. He led 248 laps here. The guy's just a stud at this racetrack, and somehow only has 2 wins. Could definitely get a 3rd starting to. I mean, you just have to love Truex, and you have to love the little price. You know, if you're debating between Larson and Truex, I think Truex is a better play, and my projections agree as well. So Truex, absolutely dominant. You know, you go, not dominant, but dynamite. Going back to the 750 horsepower package, Truex strong all year, high wear tracks, 2nd best average running position, best average finish, 2nd and fastest laps. Like, Truex is just, he's good. That's all you can say about Martin Truex Jr. this week. William Byron, I love the William Byron play this week. I think Byron has top 5 upside. I think he can get fastest laps. He hasn't put up a ton of fastest laps at Darlington. So looking at William Byron. Surprisingly, he hasn't put up any. Highest of 3, which was this year's Darlington race. With that being said, I don't think fastest laps are anywhere near a guarantee for William Byron, but at the same time, that car has been so strong this year, it's hard for me to not see him put up 15 to 20 fastest laps on Sunday night and challenge for a top 5 finish. Look at the last 2 races here. Like I said, last year you can kind of throw out, but at the same time, Byron finished 4th earlier this year. He finished 5th last year in the Southern 500. Definitely has top 5 upside this week. I think he's a very strong play. A nice pivot up here if you want to get off of Truex or Larson. I think Byron is a great play. Brad Keselowski, I'm not too high on this week. He can always surprise. I mean, it's Brad Keselowski. But let's take a look at his recent results here. 24th earlier this year, he was just awful. Started on the pole, and he was awful. Absolutely awful. Decent run in 2020. Again, he did win in 2018. Didn't dominate by any means. Led 24 laps. I would consider Keselowski a sneaky play, but I don't love the sneaky play at 10,400. Yes, he starts 16th. That team, they're just not running well. Like, you look at top 5 at, this was Loudon. Loudon's a different story when it comes to Keselowski and Penske. They are so strong on flat tracks. Pocono, that was the last time he was very strong, in my opinion. Other than like surprisingly strong. Can that team turn it up this week and get a top 5 finish? Yes. Do I like him more than, I'd rather pay up for Byron or go down and grab Elliott. But I could see being a little bit overrated on Keslowski. I just don't like. It doesn't scream, dynamite pick for me for Sunday's race. You look at the 750 horsepower package. Keselowski finished 4th at Phoenix, 3rd at Loudon. That, again, Penske's very strong at flat tracks. Every other race in this package this year has been 14th or worse for Keselowski. So pair that with the fact that that team's not running well. And, yeah, Joey Logano is a very interesting case this weekend. He runs better in this 750 package. He's 2nd at Phoenix. He was 6th at Martinsville, 5th at Dover, 3rd at Richmond, 4th at Loudon. Between Keselowski and Logano, I'd rather, take a risk with Logano. I don't think he has the dominator potential to get up there and, put up. He'll probably put up about 6 fastest laps, 6 to 10. That's what Logano's going to do on Sunday night. So does that pay off a $10,100 salary? Not unless he goes out and wins the race. So could he do that? Could he finish top 3? Yes. I don't even know if a top 3 finish is going to do it, though, at that salary unless some crazy stuff happens. Logano, let's take a look at his recent races here at Darlington. 3rd, 6th last year, 13th earlier this year. I think at best he's like an 8th place car. So I'm not seeing a ton of upside there. Kevin Harvick, he starts 9th. He's $9,800. I think Harvick can finish top 5 this year, or this weekend. He finished 5th at Homestead this year. He was 6th in the first Darlington race. Again, though, he just doesn't have the upside for Dominator. And when you're messing with people in this price range that don't have a ton of place differential upside, you need those Dominator points. You need them to get up and lead some. You need to get those fastest laps. Looking at the 750 horsepower package this year, Harvick was 6th at Phoenix, 9th at Martinsville, 6th at Darlington, 6th at Dover, 24th at Richmond, 5th at Nashville, 6th at Loudon. He's probably going to be about a 6th place car this week. My algorithm has him 3rd. He's probably about a 6th place car. That's where we have him. Does the price pay off at potentially running top 5 at 9,800? Maybe. It's right there on the fringe. It depends. It's going to be really hard to get if there's 2 Dominators this week, and it's Larson and Truex. Stuffing Harvick in there, finishing 5th, probably isn't going to do it. It's just going to be tough, I think. I see the upside. I don't hate the Harvick pick, but I don't love it either. That could change by the time. I haven't written my article yet, so that could change. But any of this could potentially change. But usually I'm pretty solid on my thinking this weekend. Or any weekend, really. Denny Hamlin starts 2nd. He's $9,500. I think he's going to be relatively popular. A popular pick this week. Starting 2nd. Blaney's not great at this racetrack. Denny Hamlin has won here 3 times. Denny Hamlin hasn't put up much Dominator points at all on flat high wear tracks this year. 31 fastest laps, 34 laps led in 4 races. In the 750 horsepower package, we already went over this, where his fastest laps came from. They weren't at tracks like Darlington. I think Hamlin has top 5 potential. I think Hamlin could steal a win. I don't see him going out and Truexing this race. I don't see him going out and Larsoning this race. So to be super heavy on me on Hamlin starting 2nd at $9,500, I'd much rather go to Chase Elliott at $92 or Bowman at $89 than I would Denny Hamlin. And that's not me disliking Denny Hamlin. It's no secret that I don't like the guy, but I just don't. I'm not seeing a ton of upside there with Hamlin this weekend. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Could he go out there and lead 100 laps and put up 40 fastest laps? Yes, he could, and come home top 3. Yes, and then it's going to be a strong play at 9,500. But if I'm putting in one lineup, it's not going to have Denny Hamlin on it this week. Chase Elliott, he starts 4th. He's $9,200. My projections like Chase Elliott quite a bit this week. My I'm concerned at how he's ran at high wear tracks this year. He had 3 fastest laps at Homestead, 3 in the first Darlington race, 8th at Atlanta. Best finish over those 4 races of 7th. In the 750 horsepower package this year, Dover was definitely Chase's best race. He's about like an 8th place. He's been about an 8th place car. Average finish 8.6, average running position 8.8. Finished 3rd at Dover, 2nd at Martinsville, but definitely, Dover, like I said, was his best race. I think Chase has top 5 upside. It's just going to depend if he can dominate early, and if he can get up there, and stay ahead of Larson. I would consider Chase as an early dominator potential, but nowhere near guaranteed. Alex Bowman. Let's pull up his numbers here. You just never know what you're going to get with Alex Bowman. Is there upside there? Absolutely. There's always upside with Alex Bowman. Has he also finished 17th or worse in all but 2 of his 8 starts here? Yes. 6 of those with Hendrick. Had a good race here in the first race of 2020. Again, that's not this package. Looking at the 750 horsepower package this year with Bowman, average running position at 12.0, average finish at 12.9. He won Dover and he won Richmond. Everything else has been 9th or worse, and 4 of them have been 13th or worse. So, with Bowman's, not great record here at Darlington, not setting the world on fire when it comes to high wear tracks this year, as far as, dominator potential, he's starting 5th. Like, 35 fastest laps in 4 races on high wear tracks this year. I don't see being heavy on Bowman at $8,900. As much as I always like Bowman, he's won me a lot of money, but it's just not. I'm not seeing it this weekend. Christopher Bell, on the other hand, starts 13th. He's $8,700. He is my favorite play this week. I'm going to be super heavy on Christopher Bell. Take that for what it's worth. You look at Christopher Bell in the 750 package this year. Average finish at 9.4. He finished 9th at Phoenix. He finished 7th at Homestead, or at Martinsville. 4th at Richmond. 9th at Nashville. 2nd at Loudon. Switching over to the high wear tracks is where his stats don't really show up very well. So Bell on high wear tracks this year. Where are we at? Average running position of 15.8, average finish of 15.8. Obviously not great. Like I said, though, Darlington race number 1, Christopher Bell, was a top 5 car. He finished 8th at Atlanta. You can't control when a guy's going to hit a wall, but he was a top 5 car. Eric Jones loved Darlington, was great in this car. Christopher Bell is the same thing. Toyota is really good at Darlington. They've won 6 of the last 9 races here. Joe Gibbs Racing is really good here. You're getting a Joe Gibbs Racing driver starting 13th at $8,700. Count me in all the way. It's my favorite play on the slate this weekend. I love him in FanDuel. I love him in DraftKings. Love him in betting. Christopher Bell, I think, is a great play this weekend. It's going to be the Jordan jinx, and he hits the wall on lap 1, then so be it. But I think Christopher Bell is going to be really strong here on Sunday night, and I think he could challenge for the win. I really do. I think it's a possibility. So love Christopher Bell. Ryan Blaney, $8,500. He starts on the pole. It's going to matter how long he stays out there. That's what it is. I will say the competition caution on lap 25 doesn't help Ryan Blaney at all. Neither does his overall not great record at Darlington. That doesn't help him either. He's not awful here. He finished 8th this year. That's his best run so far. Back in 2018, he finished 15th. He was 13th in 2019. I think Ryan Blaney's about a 10th place car. Do I see him staying out and leading? I think he's going to need to lead 50 laps and get 20 to 30, probably 20 fastest laps, and then finish 7th, I think, is probably where he needs to be in the optimal at 85. I don't see that happening. I think it's much more likely for him to lead 10 laps, lose it to Hamlin or Elliott or Larson, and from there you're just screwed if you have Blaney, even at $8,500, even if he finishes top 5. I don't see it working out this week. He'll probably still he'll have a decent day if he finishes top 5, obviously, but with so much more value here coming in this next range, I don't see playing Blaney working out this week. So it might be a full fade for me, honestly, Blaney this week. That's how much I don't like it. I have yet to find a single thing that I love about Blaney this week. This week, 0 top 5s. Actually, I'm wrong. He finished 5th at Loudon. That's his only top 5 in this package. Other than that, 10th at Phoenix, 11th at Martinsville, 12th at Dover, 11th at Richmond. He's going to be about a 10th place car this week. I'm not seeing it. Austin Dillon, he starts 21st. He's $8,300. I like that better. As much as I hate to say it, I like that better. I think Austin Dillon can finish top 12. For him to get in the optimal, I think at 83, 8.3K, I think he's going to need to run top 10. He's done it before here. I don't see it as a guarantee. I'd consider Austin Dillon a tournament play at that price. Hell, we saw him finish 2nd last year. But 16th earlier this year, I think Dillon's going to be a little bit better than that. 11th in 2020, the first race, 10th in 2019, 16th in 2018, 4th in 2017. I think he's going to be like right in that 8th to 12th range. It's just going to depend on how the race plays out. Let's take a look at high wear tracks this year. Austin Dillon, average running position of 12.7, average finish of 11.5. Best finish, 6th at Atlanta. Worst finish of 16th. And that was here at Darlington. Looking at the 750 package. Average running position 15.5, average finish of 14.4, 14.3. 0 top 10s for Austin Dillon in this package. Again, I think he has upside. I think he has top 10 upside, and I think he's a tournament play. Will I be super heavy on him? No, but 21st with top 10 upside at $8,300. I think Austin Dillon, it's worth having exposure for sure. Kurt Busch starting 30s, $8,100. This is interesting. So, and the reason why it's interesting is because he just dominated the most recent high wear track in Atlanta, and it's not like he's been awful here at Darlington before. And plus, that team's running better. I don't like that he's starting 3rd, but I don't hate the price of $8,100 if he's starting 3rd. If he's starting 3rd and he leads 40 laps and gets 15 fastest laps and then finishes top 6 at $8,100, it's definitely going to be in there. As far as likelihood of that happening, I think he can finish top 6. I think Kurt Busch can finish top 6 for sure. I don't know if I see the Dominator upside, though. That's my problem. You look at recent races, 4th, 6th. He won at, that's the Atlanta race, 4th, 6th, 8th. Kurt Busch is strong enough to run top 6 this weekend. You just need the Dominator. You need the Dominator upside, and I don't know if he has it. Tyler Reddick, he starts 7th. He's $8,000. Everyone likes to talk about Tyler Reddick when we come to Darlington. It makes sense. He loves this racetrack. He's good at running the wall. Thing is, he starts 7th, and that's about – he could finish top 5. He could. But looking at – he had 11 fastest laps the last time here. That's where you're going to need Reddick to do better his fastest laps, and I don't know if he does that. I need to stop opening that tab. I'd like Reddick so much more if he was mid-sevens, but 8, it's tough. Like I said, though, he could finish top 5 if he puts up 15 to 20 fastest laps. Decent. Yeah. I'm kind of indifferent on Reddick. My gut says he's not worth the hype of since he starts 7th. That's kind of where I'm at. Now we're getting into definite place differential plays. So Chris Buescher starting 34th, $7,800. He's bound to be a chalk play this week. I like being underweight on him because of that. I hate the price, $7,800. He finished 9th here earlier this year. Do I see him replicating that? Nope. Did I see him finishing 9th the first time? Nope. Looking at other high wear tracks this year, Chris Buescher was 7th in the first Atlanta race. He was 16th at Atlanta 2. He was 19th at Homestead. So if you remember back to the Homestead race, Buescher had the best car for the first part of that race. There's no doubt about it. Sun went down, lights came on. That car was mid-pack again. This is going to be a night race on Sunday night. Chris Buescher is going to be... I think he's going to be strong at the beginning. I worry about him falling off as the race goes on. That's where I'm at with him. And when a lot of people are just looking at that place differential tag and saying, yes, I'm plugging in Buescher because, I mean, look, average finish of 12.8, average running position of 11.8 on high wear tracks this year. 750 package, he's not as good, though. Average running position of 19th, average finish of 21.1. Digging further into that, though, so it's really weighed down by Richmond, Nashville, and Loudon. All 3 of those, Buescher finished 25th or worse. He finished 18th at Phoenix. He finished 13th at Martinsville, 9th at Darlington, 17th at Dover. Darlington's definitely the exception. I think Chris Buescher has top 20 finishing potential. Do I want to pay $7,800 for top 20 potential starting 34th when a lot of people are going to be on him because of that? Honestly, I'd rather come down here and grab like a Stenhouse starting 29th or a DiBenedetto starting 30th, Ross Chastain starting 23rd. I'd rather differentiate myself off of Buescher this week. I'm going underweight. Is he a very safe play? Yes. The stats say that he's going to be top 20 with top 13 upside. But I think it's more likely that he finishes 18th on Sunday night than it does he finishes 13th. And for him to really get into the optimal, I think he's going to need to finish 13th. So, yeah, I'm not getting the Buescher $7,800. I'm not getting too caught up in that place differential. You know, if he's 30-something% owned and he hits the wall on lap 1, like, I'd rather take that risk. Because here's the thing, Buescher's not going to get dominator points. He's not going to get fastest laps. He's not going to lead any laps. It's just not going to happen. So you're relying solely on place differential. I'll be contrarian there any day of the week, any race of the year. Unless it's Kyle Larson starting 39th. I probably won't be too contrarian there. But with Chris Buescher, and not, he's by no means, he's a questionable top 20. We're not even talking top 10. Top 10 would be a surprise. So, yeah, $7,800, I'd rather, I want to pivot there. I definitely do. Matt DiBenedetto, he starts 30th. He's $7,700. My projections like him quite a bit, especially on FanDuel. Looking at the 750 package this year, DiBenedetto, average running position of 15.9, average finish of 16.3, high wear tracks, about the same, 13.5 average running position, 16.8 average finish. So let's take a look at DiBenedetto here. He's been about a top 15 car most races in this package, except for Dover and Nashville. High wear tracks, Struggled at Homestead. I think he got in a wall, though, if I remember right. 19th in the first Darlington race, 11th at Atlanta, 9th at Atlanta 2. Between the two, I'd rather go DiBenedetto over Buescher and call it a day, just because I think more people are going to be on Buescher. Matty D, again, it's hard to really count these races, but he did finish 8th here, 2019 in the 750 or in the 550 package, 14th last year, 9th, 21st. I think he's about mid-team. He has the same upside as Chris Buescher. And if there's a significant gap in ownership between Buescher and DiBenedetto, like I think there's going to be, I'd rather flip them. Like if I think Buescher is going to be 30% and DiBenedetto is going to be 20%, I'd rather go 20% Buescher and 30% DiBenedetto. Because I think they have similar upside, but I want that edge. I want to potentially have that advantage. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it on those two. Definitely place differential plays, but nowhere near guaranteed, and I don't think it's going to be tough for them, I think, to get in the optimal at their prices. Ross Chastain, $7,500, definite tournament play. And the thing is, he starts 23rd, so he still has upside. Place differential upside. So, high wear tracks this year, Ross Chastain, he finished 17th at Homestead, 15th at Darlington, 14th at Atlanta, 21st at Atlanta too. I don't remember if something happened there or not. And then looking at 750 data, we got Chastain. Average finish of 13.0. Average running position of 16.2. So he was 15th at Darlington, 15th at Dover, 15th at Richmond. He finished 2nd at Nashville, 8th at Loudon. I like Ross Chastain. I would take the risk over Buescher and DiBenedetto and save some cap here and go Ross Chastain. That's just me. That's how I play these tournaments. So I think Ross Chastain has upside for sure. I think we saw in the first race last year, if they didn't have that stupid pit decision, he probably could have challenged for like a top 12. He still finished 15th. He had a better card than that though. So yeah, I like the Chastain play there at $7,500. I really do, especially in single entry or 3-entry max contest. Daniel Suarez, he starts 26th. He's $7,300. I don't like how that team's running right now. I'm kind of indifferent. I don't like the price with Suarez. I don't trust Suarez. He's not very good at this racetrack. 23rd here last time. Suarez on the high wear tracks this year, 15th at Homestead, 23rd at Darlington, 17th at Atlanta. I'm just not. Nope. I'm not saying nope, like don't pick him, but it's not great by any means. I'm not seeing the $7,300 work out there. I'm just not. Cole Custer, 31st is his starting position. He's $7,100. Obviously a place differential play. Can he do anything this weekend? Like, that team is struggling bad. Sometimes you have to zig while everybody else zags. 36th, 31st, 22nd, and 12th are his finishes at Darlington. I don't know about you, but that doesn't instill confidence. He did finish 18th and 17th in the 2 Atlanta races this year. How well that compares, in the 750 package, 18th at Martinsville. He was running teens at Phoenix before he got put in the wall. Did finish 10th at Dover. 14th at Loudon. I could see being overweight on Custer, but he's not one of those that I'm going to be super overweight on. Eric Almirola starts 8th. He's $7,000. He's priced too high. Just not. Eric Almirola, 9th, 7th, and 12th last year. He's going to be about a 15th place car on Sunday night with no Dominator upside, so no. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., like I said, I like that play. I like the cheaper route with this similar upside here. So Stenhouse, 20th earlier this year, 19th last year, 12th in 2018, 18th in 2016, 20th in 24. Like he's a top 20 driver. He's compared to Buescher, he's $1,000 less. He starts 29th, and he can probably maybe sneak into the teens. I'd take that all day. If it's a difference between me getting, like, the difference between me getting a Byron instead of Hamlin or something, like you'd rather go that route, take the 1,000 and do it like that. It's not a great example because these high dollar drivers are so much. It gives you more flexibility among the high dollar drivers. That's what I'm getting at. But yeah, so definitely think Stenhouse is in play this week. Yes, he wrecks a lot, but just take it. 750 package this year, he's finished 20th or better every single time. Like I think I'll write up Stenhouse in cash and not blink twice. So yeah. Ryan Preece, he starts 18th. He's $6,600. I'd consider it maybe if he was like $5,400, $6,600. No, it's not going to happen. Michael McDowell starting 15th. He's $6,400. No, it's not going to happen. Michael McDowell on his best day is a 22nd place car. It's not going to happen. Chase Briscoe, he starts 24th. He's $6,300. They mispriced Chase Briscoe this week. He's probably going to be a cash write-up for me. Briscoe finished 11th here last time at Darlington. I think he has mid-teens upside this week as well. I've also talked about Briscoe, just like I've talked about Christopher Bell quite a bit this week when it comes to my content. High wear tracks this year, Chase Briscoe, 18th at Homestead, 11th at Darlington, 23rd at Atlanta, 15th at Atlanta 2. That team is one, they are performing better now in the second half of the year. Number two, it's the second half of the year and we're hitting these tracks twice. Briscoe now has a little bit of experience on some of these, especially Darlington. I love the Briscoe play this week. Love it. Eric Jones, starts 22nd. He's $6,100. Eric Jones has always been my go-to at Darlington. He's very good at this racetrack. I think he can finish in this car. Hell, he won here with Joe Gibbs Racing, but he's not in a Joe Gibbs car. I think Jones can pull off a top 17 finish, top 18 finish. Does that get him into the optimal? It's right there. I don't hate the Jones play at all. I like being overweight on Eric Jones this year. 18, like I said, 18th in the first race. Looking at the 750 package this year, 19th at Richmond, 19th at Loudon, 20th at Nashville. He just needs a couple people to have issues, and Eric Jones can be like a 16th place driver on Sunday night. For $6,100, starting 22nd, definitely worth being overweight on Eric Jones. Bubba Wallace, you have to like the price. You have to like the fact that he finished 16th here last year, 21st this year when they weren't running as well. Bubba's definitely a tournament place, starting 17th at 6,000. I don't like having a ton of him, though. I just don't. I'd rather go Eric Jones. I would. That's kind of where I'm at on that. I'd have to really find something that I love about Bubba. Don't hate the play, don't love it. That's kind of where I'm at. Anthony Alfredo, he starts 32nd. He's $5,800. I think you need some pasta, and that's not just me, saying as the official, unofficial leader of the Anthony Alfredo fan club as of earlier this week. He starts 32nd. He finished 26th here last time. He's been about a mid-20s driver in a lot of races this year. Looking at high wear tracks, Anthony Alfredo, 24th at Homestead, 26th at Darlington, 27th at Atlanta, 26th at Atlanta 2. That's all you need to know. I think he's a safe option. I don't see him getting into the optimal, though. Ryan Newman is going to be highly owned this weekend. And here's why. Looking at the high wear tracks this year, he finished 7th at Homestead. He finished 10th in the first Darlington race. He finished 13th at Atlanta. 28th at Atlanta too is what scares me though. And how this team is running. This team is junk. He finished 4th at Daytona because it's Daytona. He finished 10th at Indianapolis because that was a shit show. Newman's best days lately have been top 25. It's not going to work out when you start 19th. So I like being underweight on Newman. I understand why people are going to go toward him this week. One, how he's performed on high wear tracks this year. Two, look at his record at Darlington. He's very good at this racetrack. For being Ryan Newman, he's very good at this racetrack. So I understand having exposure. I understand because $5,700, it's easy to throw in Newman. I just think there's an opportunity there to be underweight on him. I would rather go with Corey LaJoie, starting 25th, $200 difference, $200 savings at $5,500. LaJoie finished 22nd here last time. If Newman finishes 22nd and Corey LaJoie finishes 23rd, who's going to have more DraftKings points? It's going to be Corey LaJoie. Neither of these guys are going to put up fastest laps. It's just not going to happen unless they get off sequence and do it with new tires when everybody else is on old. But if that happens, they probably have an issue and they're probably not going to finish 22nd or 23rd. So Corey LaJoie, looking at the 750 package this year, 22nd in the first Darlington race, 21st at Richmond, 16th at Nashville, 23rd at Loudon. High wear tracks this year for Corey LaJoie. 22nd at Darlington, 22nd in the second Atlanta race. His other two were duds. I just like how that team's running. I think if I'm trying to pivot down here, I'm going off of Newman and I'm going to LaJoie. Or I'm getting off of Newman, I'm going to Eric Jones. I'm hitting Briscoe this week. I'm hitting Stenhouse down here. I really like Corey LaJoie as a pivot off of Ryan Newman because I think Ryan Newman's going to be significantly higher owned than Corey LaJoie is. And it doesn't take much for Corey LaJoie to outscore Ryan Newman this week. It really doesn't. So, again, I understand why people are on Newman this week. I just don't see it working out. As far as the backmarker cars, Quinn Houff, Cody Ware, James Davison, Joey Gase, B.J. McLeod, Justin Haley, Josh Bilicki. You're not going to pick B.J. McLeod. You're not going to pick Josh Bilicki. You're not going to pick Justin Haley. They're going to fall back at least 5 spots each. Haley will probably fall back about 8 to 10. McLeod probably 5. Bilicki 5 or more, 5 or 6. I don't think you want that. Even if you're trying to punt, it's just I don't see any upside there. If anything, I'm gonna punt with Quinn Houff in 37th and hope he finishes 30th like he did last time here. But he's $100 less than LaJoie. I'd rather go LaJoie. I would. So I don't see punts working out this weekend. I think you can put a good lineup together. Even if you go Larson, Truex in the lineup, I think you can put a good lineup together without punting. I don't think punting is necessary this week. I really don't. So before I end this out, my optimal lineup according to my projections is Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chase Briscoe, and Ryan Newman. As I said before, I'd probably cut off Newman here and go to LaJoie, and I'd call it a day. I'll probably enter this in high dollar. Honestly, I probably will. I see no reason to really change anything at all, unless I wanted to go, take off Truex and go. Nope, that's not even going to do it. I was going to say go Byron and then take off LaJoie and go Jones, but no, not seeing that. I don't hate this lineup at all. To go over a few others, let me see here. I'm trying to. I want to get. Let's do one without Larson. So top lineup without Kyle Larson in it, according to my projections, is going to be Truex, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, Stenhouse again, and then Newman, which again, I'd go to LaJoy. I really would. So if you went LaJoy here and take Stenhouse and go down to Briscoe, gives you 85 to grab. You know what you can do? Oh boy. Truex, Hamlin, Elliott, Bell, Eric Jones, Corey LaJoy. Don't hate that either. Do I like having two guys starting top 5? Not necessarily. But in that mid-9 range, if they can get decent fastest laps, maybe dominate a little, maybe lead some laps. Got Truex coming in at starting 10th. I could see that working out for sure. Definitely could. Let's do Kyle Busch, Truex, Chase Elliott. Again, like, I know my projections like Chase Elliott quite a bit this week. I'd honestly go down to Bell more, though. But Chase Elliott, Stenhouse, Newman, and Eric Jones. Eric Jones and Ryan Newman. Again, I'd rather go LaJoy, but let's go. Take off Elliott here. Go down to Bell. You could cut off Stenhouse. Go down to LaJoy. I could get you up to Chastain. Or, yeah, I could get you Chastain. So Kyle Busch, Truex, Bell, LaJoy, Jones, Chastain. If you didn't do Kyle Busch, again, like I said, I like Byron. Give you an extra $500 to play with. If you cut down to Stenhouse here, and you don't want to go with LaJoy or Newman, then hit Briscoe here, have Briscoe and Jones, leaves you $400 to play with. You can't get Kyle Busch. I was hoping you could. You know, you go Larson. That's risky, but Byron, Larson, Bell, Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Stenhouse. That's definitely a tournament lineup. Just depends. Depends what route you want to go. But yeah, so that's going to wrap it up this week. Good luck at Darlington. We'll be back next week for Richmond, and then we have Bristol the week after. First round of the playoffs, or first race of the playoffs, should be interesting. I think it's gonna come down to Larson and Truex, but we'll have to see. So, good luck. Hope you win a bunch of money. And oh, by the way, make sure you, if you do win, and the garage guys are raising money for Hurricane Relief Fund. I think they're calling it the Deletion Fund. I said I'm going to give a percentage of my profit this week to that. Hopefully you do as well. You know, help those in need with that hurricane that hit down south. And it's a good thing those guys got going. So make sure you check those out. And if you're able to, you know, pitch in to help those people in need. But yeah, good luck at Darlington. See ya.